Sup guys, in today's video I will teach you how to paracord a neck knife. To do that I will use this skeletonized EDC fixed blade, which is called the Rainier Fastpack. In my very last video I already reviewed this knife, so today we are going to jump right into cording. My method is very special for two reasons. First of all, I can hide all those ugly melted paracord ends that you always see on other corded knives, and two, it doesn't require clamping, so you can do this freehand, indoors, outdoors, wherever you want it. You will not need any special equipment to make your knife look amazing. You just need to follow this technique. If this sounds cool to you, please like this video and subscribe for more content. And if you want to see my coolest gear pictures, come check out my Instagram where I post something nice every day. But now, let's get to work. Since Christmas is close, I'm going to use one of my favorite rope colors, which is called Santa Claus, for obvious reasons. This is a Type 3 550 paracord that I usually mass purchase from Paracord.eu. And I'm such a big fan of this cord that I also made a Christmas themed doggy collar for Winston. To kick off this project, I will measure a generous amount of cord, just about a meter, and trust me, it's okay to go longer and cut it back instead of running short in the middle. Since this knife is screaming sharp, I'll make sure to keep the sheath on, and I highly recommend the same for everybody else. The only case when you don't want to have a sheath on while you cord is when you clamp it up on a workbench. But right now we go freehand, and we like our fingers, so just keep them safe. The very first knot that I need to make is right over the finger choil, and I will start the whole process from there. This is different with every knife, so you might need to be creative when it comes down to yours. There's one very important thing that I love doing with my skeletonized knives. I usually keep running one end of the cord alongside the tang, and this has several huge benefits. First of all, it beefs up the handle, so the knife will become even more hand-filling, and it also makes it easier to hide the end of that particular string. Starting with this method is probably the most difficult part of the process, so it will probably try your patience. However, if you get through this, the rest of the handle will be much easier. You just need to make number 8 loops, otherwise known as infinity signs, until the end of your tang. Make sure you follow and repeat the process and tighten everything as much as you can. Personally, it annoys me deeply if the cord is too loose and slides back and forth on top of the metal. And if you do everything right, you will get through this part just fine. Now, the end is kind of tricky, because I have 2 strings that I have to get rid of and seal their ends. I'll start with the top one by melting its end even a couple of loops before the tang is over. Now, this end is sealed, and you can understand why pulling the string across the handle was such a genius move. This way your cord will have 0 chance of getting loose or escaping because it needs to pull itself through the entire tang. Plus, its melted end will never bother you, as it is covered by other loops. Now, just a couple of turns and you can also melt the second end. And in my opinion, this one is a bit trickier, but if you do it right, you will have a very seamless finish. So probably the best place to end this paracord would be not on the front side, aka the presentation side, but on the flip side of the handle. And for increased strength, I'll find a way to trap this end in between my loops. To make this easy, I will thin down my cord and just go with my colorful outer layer. Then I need to cut it and melt it without screwing up anything. Pulling the stick 550 paracord through the final loop will be and also should be very hard. I often end up convincing the cord across with a nail, and I might also reach for my pliers too. But don't worry, this is a good sign. It means that your loops are tight enough, and thanks to your efforts, you will receive a durable, long-lasting grip. When I seal the very end, I want the cord as short as possible. You don't need it to be long, because it will completely melt into the loop next to it. Arguably, melting a shorter cord is even stronger, because it will have a smaller chance of catching into your gloves and your clothing. This is also the perfect time to get rid of all your strings and loose ends by burning them off. And boom, this is the final result. And I'm super pleased how my handle turned out. If you take a closer look at the Santa Claus paracord, it forms a very nice, unique pattern, and I truly love the harmony of these colors. Also, we turned our slippery and hotspotty skeletonized neck knife into a much more hand-filling and capable everyday carry tool in a very cheap way without adding any kind of significant bulk to it. We also decorated it for the upcoming holiday, so if our grandma catches us using this under the Christmas tree, she will most likely say wow instead of whoa. And trust me, this is a good thing because most grannies have some serious temper issues nowadays. Plus, jumping into an ugly sweater is infinitely cooler if you also have a fit-in neck knife dangling around on top of it. Especially if your dog is chilling with you in a very similar color. If you guys agree, then make sure you like the video and hit subscribe. Also, I invite you to check out my full review of this Rainier Fastpack by clicking on this card. Thank you for watching today's video all the way, and I'll see you in the next one.